Hi, it's Therese and I'm here for Altenew, and I have a video today sharing a multiple inlay die cutting technique using this Floral Elements stamp set and coordinating dies. So this is one of the new release mini sets, and I love that these mini sets have some of them having coordinating dies, and this set is heaps of fun. I love that kind of whimsical look on these flowers, and what I decided to do was I wanted to make a nice bright and clean and simple design. So I'm stamping out these flowers using my MISTI because I want to add some depth with a second layer of ink, and I find this is almost like an ombre technique, and I find that it's easier to use my MISTI than try and hover over top of the stamp and add some extra depth of colour. You can actually do this technique without a MISTI. You just have to take your time and line up the stamp, and you can actually do this technique with just one ink colour, because if you add a second layer of exactly the same colour of ink, then you'll find that you'll have some depth. But I did actually choose a couple of different colours for my flowers today, just to add that extra bit of shading. So the pinks, that was Pinkalicious and Rubellite. The blues were Sea Breeze and Turquoise. And the dark berry, I used the Vineyard berry colour. Now it's actually easier to do this technique with the double layering with the small cubes of colour, but I don't own all the small cubes. But with the greens, I came in with the Frayed Leaf and the Forest Glades, and it was actually a bit easier because I have the cubes. You're a little bit, it's easier to manipulate the cubes than the big ink pads, but certainly doable. Alright, so I'm going to be doing my die cutting now and doing the multiple layer inlay die cut technique. It's a hard one to say. I've got some Warm Sunshine cardstock and just cut it to as a panel to fit on my card. And I've actually, if you notice there, I'm laying out my die cuts, and starting with the fine alphabet, I added the word hi. But I had my little bouquet set out on the card front, and then I could tell which images were going to be at the back. So that's how I chose which images to die cut first. So this leaf image is going to be behind the flowers. So I've die cut that first, and now I've got a piece of computer paper, or just thin paper, it's copy paper, and added some repositionable adhesive to that. And I'm sticking it behind the die cuts that I've done. Now what I can do is come back in, lay the actual die cut in place like a jigsaw, and then kind of work out where I want my next images to be die cut from. So I'm working my way up from the back of the card. So this one is my next layer at the back, and so is this other leaf. If I had two of the dies, I could have actually die cut the leaf at the same time, but I've only got one, so it's just saving me lots of passes through my die cutting machine. I'm doing multiple die cutting at the same time, and now I've got one more lot of die cutting to do, so I'm going to be creating another little template. Do make sure that you keep all these little bits and pieces of your die cuts as you're cutting them out, because we are going to come back in and inlay them. So I've got some more copy paper behind, and now I need to lay my jigsaw in place again, and I have both my leaf images, and then my top image is going to be one of the hot pink flowers. So once I sort of work out where that's going to be, this is going to be my last die run through the die cutting machine. So I'll just hold that in place with the low-tack tape once again, and remember, keep all the little pieces when you're pulling it apart, because it's not easy to find them after. And the more complex your image or bouquet or whatever you're wanting to die cut, the more important it is to keep track of everything. This isn't too bad, this one. It's only just 2 flowers and a couple of leaf images that I'm layering up. Okay, so now I've got a piece of cardstock, just some plain white cardstock. You can use any scrap piece of cardstock here. I've added adhesive over the whole top of this piece of cardstock. You could use a liquid adhesive. I just find it's faster drying, more forgiving and less messy to use the dotted tape runner, and it holds really well. And now it's just a matter of adding in all my pieces. So there are, if you'll notice, really small bits of the leaf there. I probably could have lined this up a bit differently and made it easier for myself, but I wasn't thinking. I was just going on the overall look of the image and how I wanted it to be. But because I've still got them, I can actually add them in place just with the tweezers, and it seemed to work really well, because I want to fill in all of the gaps that I've created from my multi-die cutting. I did lose one of my, there's 2 berries in this stamp set, and I actually lost, when I was, you know how you cut off the little bits of edges of the dies as you're cutting them apart? One of them just flew off, and I thought I heard it hit the floor. And I was searching high and low for this little tiny die cut circle, and I thought, I'm going to have to buy another set, because I don't have the small, and they're really hard to fussy cut really small images like these berries. And I thought I was done for. I mean, how can I hear it, watch it fall, and then not be able to find it? I thought maybe it bounced up into something. I even looked through my rubbish bin. It was my paper rubbish bin though. But you'll be pleased to know I found it the next day. It actually fell onto my stamp press. Not onto the floor like I thought I saw it do. Okay, so I've just used my corner chomper. It's the 1/4 inch, I think, the smaller side of them, not the 1/2 inch, I think it's a 1/4 inch corners to round all the corners. Added some black fun foam and some score tape behind my actual panel. I've got some jet black cardstock here, and I just wanted the word "hi" to be sitting up and have the black showing through. I could have inlaid die cut that as well, but I wanted that to be like a negative space. And I'll just adhere that to my top fold card, and that's my finished card for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll have all the products and blog post linked below, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.